Hello, Brainiacs, and welcome back to our final Unit 1 Number Sense and Place Value Study Guide Answer Key. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into learning target number 4. I can compare and order numbers. So let's get started. For learning target number 4, our first question says, fill in the blanks with the greater than, less than, or equal to symbol to make the statement true. The greater than symbol looks like this. The less than symbol looks like this. And the equal to symbol looks like this. These are symbols we've been using for a couple years now, and you may have several tricks and strategies to help you remember which one is which. In this case, 430,203 is being compared to 430,032. When comparing numbers, it's important to remember that each place value to the left is going to be 10 times greater than the place value to the right. So having a 4 in the hundred thousands place is a huge difference from having a 4 in the 10,000s place. So when comparing numbers, I always start with my largest place value and then compare down. Both of these numbers start in the hundred thousands with a 4. By continuing to compare at each place value, I notice that my first difference is in the hundreds. This number has 2 hundreds. Well, this one has none. Even though there are 32 still remaining, 203 is vastly larger than just 32. That 2 in the hundreds place makes a big difference, meaning 430,203 is greater than 430,032. Some of you may know the trick that the alligator should eat the bigger number. Others might remember that the less than looks kind of like an L tipped on its side. But the important thing to realize is that it makes this a true statement when I read it like a sentence. 430,203 is greater than 430,032. Let's try our next one. 34,230. compared to 909,765. Well, in this one, this number goes to the hundred thousands. This one only goes to the 10,000s. This is substantially larger. Again, alligator eats the smaller end goes to the smaller number, bigger end goes to the bigger number, alligator eats the larger number, but it also makes a true sentence. 34,230 is less than 909,765. For each of these, if you got them correct, give yourself a +1. The next question asks us to order the numbers. Ordering is just like comparing, but with more than 2 numbers. We're going to put them in order from greatest to least. So the thing I need to look for first is which of these is the largest. They all go to the 10,000s place, but 8 10,000s is significantly more than 3 10,000s. So my greatest is 83,320. This leaves me with just 2 numbers to compare. My next largest option is 38,230. And my smallest option is 38,021. I've listed the numbers in order from greatest to least. If you got that correct, that is also worth +1 point. The next section of my comparing requires me to combine my learning about comparing numbers and writing numbers in different ways. We are not renaming, we're simply writing it. In this case, we're comparing 585 to 5 hundreds, 4 tens, and 13 ones. Now, 5 hundreds has a value of 500. 4 tens has a value of 40, and 13 ones has a value of 13. By looking at this number in a different way, I realized that this number is really 553. My goal here is to determine if each statement is true or false. By rewriting both numbers in their base 10 numerals, I can now go back and use the skills I used from number 10 to answer number 12. Is 585 greater than 553? Yes. It absolutely is. You can use a check, you can use an X, but you need to somehow show me that you know this statement is true. Let's try the next one. 4,000 plus 70 plus 900 plus 2 is less than 4,974. I'm not sure. Let's find out. 4,000 plus 70 plus 900 plus 2. I'm going to turn this from a number in expanded form into a number in base 10 numerals. 4,972. A lot of people don't realize that the 900 and the 70 were switched. So it is not 4,792. It is 4,972. It's less than 4,974. Now let's check. 4,972 is less than 4,974. That is also correct. Let's try another one. 28,909 is less than 20,000s plus 8,000s plus 800s plus 5 ones. Here they've written in that hybrid form again. Let's convert it back to a standard base 10 numeral number that I'll have a much easier time comparing. 20,000s. Thousands have 3 zeros, so does this number. There's 20 of them. 8,000s. 800s. Hundreds have 2 zeros, 2 place values that are saved. So does this. 5 ones. Notice there are no digits in the tens place. That's important when keeping our place values. All right. So 28,909 is less than 28,800. Uh-oh. This statement is false. It does not work. For each of these answers, I'm going to be looking for you to show your work either right here, off to the side, or down below, wherever you can find space, and then to answer accurately whether it's true or false. For each of these that you showed your work and found the correct answer, give yourself +1 point. Now we're going to take a look at some of our word problems. Our first word problem says, during the summer, Six Flags had 345,921 visitors, and the zoo had 312,345 visitors. Raging Rivers had more than the zoo and less than Six Flags. Which of the following could be the number of visitors at Raging Rivers? All right, so whenever I'm tackling a word problem, the first thing I do is read the whole question. Then I go back and I try and visualize it. What was happening? All right, I'm imagining summertime in St. Louis. Tons of people want to go and have fun. Some of them choose to go to Six Flags, some choose to go to the zoo, some choose to go to Raging Rivers. But each of these places is keeping track of how many came to their entertainment. Six Flags had a lot of people. That's amazing. The zoo also had a lot of people, but less than Six Flags. Raging Rivers also kept track of how many people came and visited them, but we don't know what their answer is yet. All we know is it needs to be bigger than the zoo and smaller than Six Flags. So it has to be somewhere in between these two numbers. All right, let's see what it could be. 312,345. Well, 313, that is larger, and it is smaller, so it could be that. But, as with any good word problem and multiple choice test taker, I'm going to give all my options a try, just to make sure there aren't multiple possibilities. B says 312,009. Well, that is less than the zoo, and Raging Rivers was more than the zoo. So that can't possibly be my option. C says 346,982. Well, 346,000 is bigger than 345,000. So no matter how many hundreds this has, this is definitely going to be a bigger number. So Raging Rivers was less than Six Flags. This is not an option. 400,000 is clearly bigger than any of my options. And Raging Rivers was not the most popular. Six Flags was. So that can't be my option either, meaning my original instinct that A was correct is going to be my final answer. If you found A, give yourself a point for that question. Number 14 says, Sally got 16,890 votes in the election. Joe got 16,898 votes. Bob says that Sally won the election. Is Bob correct? Explain how you know. Oh, that was a lot of names and numbers all at once. I'm going to go back and visualize. All right, Sally. I'm going to picture exactly what I imagine Sally looks like. It might not be what she really looks like, but for my mental image, it's going to help me out. All right, I'm imagining Sally. She's campaigning, and she's won 16,890 votes. Fantastic. She's going against Joe, 16,898. Wow, the first thing I want to know is who won. 16,800. Joe definitely won, because Joe got more points, more votes. And usually when you get more votes, that's how you win. Bob says, okay, so now there's this another guy, Bob. He's, I guess, maybe reporting on the situation, or maybe he's a friend, and he says that Sally won the election, but I had just decided that Joe won the election. Is Bob correct? Well, that's my first answer. No. Bob is not correct. You can see how I have answered the question and put it in a full and complete sentence. Fantastic. Explain how you know. There's my next point. Usually, in an election, the person who gets the most votes wins. And Joe had more votes than Sally. Now, I want to prove that I understand place value in answering this. I know this because when I compare $16,898 to Joe's votes, 16,890 Sally's votes, all the place values and digits are the same until the ones. Where Joe got 8 and Sally got 0. Joe got 8 more votes than Sally. It is okay to write long. It is okay to take space on the back or add an additional sheet if you need to tell me more. Clearly explaining your thinking and showing how you use the math is the best way to help you get points on this problem. Now, you will get 1 point for having a correct answer right there. You will also get points for the completeness and mathematical explanation of your answer. Full points would be +2. If you're not sure, you're welcome to come and ask me tomorrow morning. My final question then is asking you to understand relationships between digits and a number. Compare the values of the underlying digits in 75,909 and 68,075. So I'm zooming in on these 7s. Which one is going to be greater? I'm comparing. Well, the 7 in 75,909 is greater than the 7 in 68,075. You'll notice I didn't take any time to compare the actual numbers, just those digits. This 7 is in the 10,000s, and this 7 is in the tens. When I explain how I know, you'll see why I got that answer so quickly. The first 7 is in the 10,000s place. And is worth 70,000. The value of that 7 is 70,000. The second is in the tens place and is worth only 70. The first 7 is 1,000 times bigger. That's huge. Having $70,000 is completely different from having $70. It's way bigger. I can tell how many times bigger by taking a look at a place value chart. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions. My first number, 75,909, 68,075, and my 2 digits of 7. Now this only precisely works when I am dealing with digits that are the same in different place values. The reason for that being, if I had 7 groups of 10, and instead I had 7 groups of 100, that would be 10 times bigger. Every time I move a place value then, it becomes 10 times bigger. In this group, I would have 7 10 rods. In this group, I would have 7 10,000 rods. And I know that when we built those in class, it looked like one giant tower. So 7 10,000 towers. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Just like this 10 is built up of 10 of these. This 100 is built up of 10 of these. This 1,000 is built up of 10 of these. A 10,000 is going to be 10,000 cubes stacked on top of each other. Huge. Way bigger. In fact, 1,000 times bigger. A quick way to know how many times bigger something is to start at your place value and know it's going to be 1 time bigger, 10 times bigger, 100 times bigger, 1,000 times bigger. By saying the place values, I will know exactly what those factor of 10s are. 1, tens, hundreds, thousands. By moving 1, 2, 3, I need to keep 3 place values, 1,000 times bigger. And there you have it. You now know how to identify place value of digits within numbers up to 1 million, including knowing the difference between value and place value. You can also problem solve using these skills. You can read and write multi-digit whole numbers up to 1 million using number names, base 10 numerals, and expanded forms. You can write numbers in different ways. You can also understand that a digit represents 10 times what it would represent in the place to its right, and rename numbers. Finally, you'll be able to compare and order numbers in both blank problems and problems that require you to do a little bit more thinking, as well as answering word problems that really help you to understand why the math works. If you have any questions, please put a star next to them so you remember to come into class and ask for help. Until next time, happy studying!